So I'm watching closely the line on this main event this weekend, the Hermanson Strickland fight. Tough fight to pick a winner. And I'm not sure that picking a winner of this fight is very good for your units. I'll tell you why. Hermanson is a very talented wrestler. And if he does what he's supposed to do, it could be a tough night for Sean Strickland. It could be a very tough night for him. Now, here's the problem. I just ran back both of these guys' fights and watched them. Their last 5 fights. I found something with Hermanson that I don't like. He has a tendency. He's got a bad habit. And I don't know if it's an ego deal or what exactly it is. But he's got a problem with standing with strikers too long. Specifically when he doesn't have to. Thiago Santos, he stood and fought with him and he paid the price. When I think that he should have put a lot more effort into attempting, at the very least, to clinch with him, get close to him, tie up his body somehow, and work for a takedown. You know, a lot of guys are constantly, they're constantly saying, well, it's a lot easier said than done to get a takedown, right? Meaning, maybe I was looking for the opportunity, but I couldn't get it, right? And I understand that, but when you're striking with these skilled strikers and you're doing nothing but staying at range and trading with them, you're not even attempting to dive in and grab them or get up in a tie clinch or do something with them. There's no excuse. You didn't try. You didn't even try to clinch the body. You didn't even try to get in close and take away their weapons. He's got a bad problem with that. In my opinion, he's not that great of a striker. He has striking skills, but if he stands on the feet with Sean Strickland, chances are Strickland's going to eat him up. Not right away. The jab and that type of stuff will be there right away. But it'll likely take a couple rounds for Strickland's work to start to show. Probably towards the latter half of round 2, you'll start to see a very worn down and beat up Hermanson if he decides to stand and trade with Strickland. I highly suggest that he goes in there and immediately, in the first 60 seconds of the fight, at the very least, tries to get inside and initiate some type of grabbing, something. It doesn't have to be a shot, but he needs to at very least tie Strickland up. Get him against the fence. Try to push him against the fence. Work for a takedown. Do something. If he does not, I think a lot of people that are doing live betting, you got your answer. Outside of the first 60 seconds, if you don't see that, I would throw all my money on Strickland immediately. At least whatever units you've dedicated to this fight. I'm going to go a different route. And I try to tell you guys this often. I don't like gambling my units. Of course, every time you bet on a fight, it's gambling. But what I like to do is I like to look for the probable outcome. I don't really care to take chances. I'm good with a simple return. I don't need to double my money. I don't need to quadruple my money. If I get 20% back on a unit, Cool. I've even done bets where I've gotten 10, 15% back on a unit and been happy with it. So I'm likely to play a very safe line on this bet. I've been watching the 1.5 over under. Vegas has this fight, the over under on its 4.5 rounds, I believe. I don't believe I'll play anything near that. I think I'll take them up on one of their earlier round offerings. It'll either be like fight goes to round 2 or over 1.5 rounds. I'll probably look for a negative minus 300, minus 250 line, something like that, and take that on this main event. I feel that's the easiest way to get a return on your units probably on this fight, rather than picking a winner, because again, if Hermanson does what he's supposed to do, if he comes in there ready to wrestle, ready to do ground and pound, ready to do his specialty, it could be a very tough night for Sean. If his ego kicks in, or if he gets undisciplined in any way and decides to stand and trade with this kid, it's going to be a bad night for him. Vegas obviously has Strickland in this fight. Vegas has this fight. They don't necessarily know. They're saying 4 or 5 rounds. I think last time I looked at the lines, everybody was pretty certain that it would go into the 4th round. It was all negative money going into the 4th round, and then I think it's even negative money for the fight to finish. So they're kind of thinking, 4, 4.5, 5 rounds. Fight goes distance or goes that deep. I kind of have the same feeling, but we'll see. If I was you, I would jump on a simple return on this fight. This fight is not an easily predictable fight. It's not something you can look at in black and white and say, hey, this dude's going to win or this dude's going to win. There's a lot of variables that are unanswered. Just look to get a little bit of money back on your units here. And I think play it safe, right? The other fight that I'm watching is the Nick Maximoff fight. I think the guy that he's facing, I just ran back 3 or 4 of his fights. Obviously, Maximoff has only got 1 fight in the UFC. I'm not sure if he has a Contender Series fight. I think Vegas has this wrong. I think Maximoff goes into that fight and easily wrestles out a victory. I think he wears this guy down after the 1st round. He gasses out. Maximoff cruises to a 2-round-to-1 decision. If he does win a round, it would be the 1st round. So that might be another live bet play for you guys too as well. Kind of see if the fight goes out of the 1st round. If it does, I would throw my money on Maximoff. I think this guy will gas after the 1st round. Outside of that, I'm looking to that fight right there is where I'm looking to possibly gamble. I might gamble on that fight. I rarely do it, but I might throw a couple units on Maximoff there. He's out of that Diaz camp. He's tough. He's going to have the cardio. Reports are that he's been working very, very hard on his boxing. That Diaz camp can show him how to box down there too as well. So I think I'm going to go with him on this fight. We'll see what happens, right? Protect your units going into this weekend. It's very, very important. Don't give up. Don't give up a lot of units. There's not a lot of great opportunities on this card. Don't bet on every fight. This card right here, maximum you should be betting 3 fights. Anything more than that, and you guys are wasting your units, because they're all just fights that are, if I'm being honest with you, besides the Erosa fight and that other guy, any of these other cats can win. So just try to protect your units this weekend. We'll see what we got going on next weekend. See ya.